God and looking good. Finding God and looking good. Finding God and looking bad. Not finding God and looking good. Not finding God and looking bad. I'm finding God and looking good. I'm finding God and looking bad. Not finding God and looking good. Not finding God and looking bad. Not finding God and looking bad. Not finding God and looking good. Not finding God or finding God and looking bad. Finding God and looking good. Finding God and looking good. And I'm finding God and looking bad. Not finding God and looking bad. Not finding God and looking good. Finding God and looking good means that if you could find God and looking good, it looks good. If you found God and it looks good, then you did find God, right? It looks good. And you could also find God and it looks bad. But then maybe it's bad to find God. But if you're not finding God and it's looking good, then maybe you don't want to find God, or the fact you didn't find him doesn't matter. It still looks good. You didn't find him and you didn't fail. And to not find him and it looks good is to not even want to find him. Or the fact that you don't, maybe he doesn't want to be found and you're fine with that. Okay, right. So that's kind of confusing. That offense, that offense, that offense I would love to commit. I will always not laugh at you. And that offense I seem to like to offend you. I will always like to offend you. Never laugh though I won't smile. Neither either laugh, smile like the offense, like being the offender. No, ha ha, for I'm a madness and jumping over the sadness. Hurdle, one successful, completed goal, the sadness defeated. Introduction of the madness needed. Introduction of the madness needed, sir. Successfully avoiding the sadness, sir. Is it necessary to, sir? Take upon us the madness, sir, just to a successful avoidance of the sadness, sir. Is it my friend? It is my friend. Is it my friend? It is my friend. Is it my friend? It is my friend. Necessary to do. For my friend, for the sadness to leads to sorrow, regret, and suicide, self-hatred, boy. And an anger which ends in a madness, my friend and boy. In the end, take this advice to the end, boy. An anger which ends in a madness, my friend, in the end takes the madness first and avoids all the else, for in the end, my friend, we are left gone mad and makers of our own destruction, and makers of our own destruction, rightly gone mad and destroyed. In the end, the madness is the only thing left. And in your own destruction, in the end, when you've gone mad and you've been destroyed, boy, you'll be left with a madness and a destruction of your soul. So then wait a minute. What about you're telling me to just take the madness first? I want you to take the madness first, boy, and forget about the sadness and the sorrow and regret and all the suicidal self-hatred. Yet you'll never have to find it. Take the madness first, and you'll avoid the sadness. And the sadness hurdle you can jump over. It takes the madness and the strength to jump over that hurdle of self-hatred, suicidal hate, and the strength and the power, boy, it takes to leap over the hurdle. And that hurdle you can't ever conquer is your fears. It takes madness to do it, boy. It takes a madness, a certain madness. You have to have gone mad, boy. But I'm not asking you to, in the end, in your destruction, have gone mad and point it out to you and saying it's the madness that You've gone mad, boy. And it's the madness in the end that you have in your destruction, because I'm not going to tell you that, because it's true. But the madness didn't destroy you, boy. It was your refusal to take the madness that left you with, you have gone mad in the end and been left with madness. And after all that you've tried to avoid in your suicidal hatred of self and every kind of sorrow and regret that you could not jump over or conquer as your hurdles, that you can fly. Well, you can't fly. The only thing you know how to do is fall hard and fast into hell. And you don't know have wings. And if you did, you wouldn't know how to use them, because if you could, you'd fly away from your misery and sorrow and regret instead of fall hard into it, down straight to hell. I know. And you're blaming me for that too. You're saying it's my fault that you don't know how to fly. And you're also saying I threw you out of the nest, boy. I did. You know, boy, when I threw you out of my nest, you said, well, what, you going to throw me out of the nest? I don't even know how to fly yet. I said, I know, but you've been sitting in my nest too long, boy, and you're never going to learn to fly unless I throw you out. And I threw you out of the nest. First, I told you, boy, I'm throwing you out of the nest, and you're going to learn to fly today. And you said, what if I fall straight and hard to the ground and into hell and die? I said, well, you'll be learning how to fall hard and fast then, instead of flying. And you said, but that's not fair. I don't want to learn how to fall hard and fast. I want to learn how to fly. And I said, well, I'm throwing you out of the nest so you can decide to learn how to fly, or you don't need to learn how to fall hard and fast, boys. So don't worry about learning it. You'll fall hard and fast straight down to hell. If you don't learn to fly, you will be falling straight down hard and fast. I know, but I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to learn how to fly, and I'll find that I don't even need to learn how to fall hard and fast either. I'll just be falling hard and fast. You're going to throw me out. It'll be your fault, and you'll blame me for it too. But you can learn to fly, and you won't have to fall hard and fast straight down to hell. But it'll be your fault if I do. Yes, it will. And you'll blame me for it. Maybe I'll forgive you, maybe I won't. Okay, then what do I do if I'm falling straight and hard and fast and I can't learn to fly after you throw me out the nest? You freaking learn how to make your hard fall a controlled descent, boy. A controlled descent? I'm telling you, if you can control your descent while you're flying hard and fast straight down to hell, well, if you can control your descent, you might have a chance. How do I have a chance? You mean I can control my descent? If you can control your descent and get some control over your hard fall straight down to hell, I'll tell you, I might give you some credit for that idea, that if you're going to refuse to learn how to fly, and you're going to just blame me for the fact that I threw you out of the nest, and then you're going to blame me for having the fact that that I'm telling you learn how to control your descent. So when you're falling straight into hell, at least you'll have some control over your fate in the fall. But will that save me in any way? It might. Well, then how? I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, if you do fail in the event you do fail to learn how to fly and you find you're falling hard and fast, you better learn how to control your descent. Okay, but I don't know how to do it. Well, you better learn how to do it, or you will be dead in the end. Well, okay, fine. And don't blame me when I throw you out of the nest. It's my nest. You've been living in it you're an adult and you're still living in my house, in my nest. It's my nest. I know, but I'll leave then. Don't throw me out. Let me learn to fly first. You've been trying to learn to fly, but you won't learn to fly because you want to stay here under my protection and then hate me. And yeah, you don't even like my nest. If you knew where you were living, you'd run from it like the devil. You mean this nest is like the devil's house? Well, what if it was? What if this nest is my nest? And you like living in it. And you're also blaming me for even having it. Yeah, and saying it's not my nest. It is my nest. But wait a minute, this is not hell. How do you know it's not hell? I'm throwing you out of hell today. I'm going to throw you right the hell out of hell and right back into hell. Okay, great, man. I better learn to fly then, huh? You better learn to fly right now, boy, if you don't want to learn how to control your descent. Because I'll give you credit for that if you're not busy blaming me instead, crying about it. When you're falling, you better learn how to fly straight down to hell with some control. Okay, all right, I'll try it. Yeah, get on it. I'm throwing you out now. There you are, boy. Fly.